Hey guys! So originally how I was going to do this video was going to be a commentary of me basically just hating myself on a sketchbook and explaining where I went wrong. But after some careful consideration, I realized that why am I going to show you a sketchbook and then talk bad about it and then tell you guys what I need to work on? Like, I know what I need to work on, I know what went wrong, why do I need to tell you guys this? How is it going to benefit you or me? And I was the whole entire time making the sketchbook, I'm like, oh my god, this is terrible. And I tried to redeem it. I tried some different things. I'm like, why does this look so bad? But I also started to think about how the philosophy of, well, not a philosophy or like a law, but more of sketchbooks shouldn't be perfect. I mean, there are some quote unquote perfect sketchbooks out there, but that's not exactly what sketchbooks are for. And I know a lot of people tell you this, or you might have heard this a bunch of times, or maybe you haven't, that sketchbooks aren't supposed to be perfect. And it's like you see all these artists with beautiful sketchbooks and they have like full illustration drawings, and a lot on YouTube I see that a lot. Like you see these beautiful sketchbooks and in the title it'll say rejected. And that's because it's for an art school. If you're applying to an art school, you're going to have put some of your best illustrations in it, and there are some requirements in your sketchbook that you need to put in and stuff, and sometimes it's not what they're looking for. Like, you don't have enough figure drawings, or you don't have enough, like, observational drawings, so of course they're going to reject you sometimes, but that's completely different because you're applying for a school. But I'm talking about the sketchbooks that you just do for yourself. Those aren't supposed to be perfect. I believe a sketchbook is supposed to be a place where you experiment in, where you put your feelings and ideas down. It's not this masterpiece, and it shouldn't be. I feel like we're so used to seeing these beautiful sketchbooks, and people are like, oh, I just sketched this like 10 minutes and it's a beautiful masterpiece. It's like, why are you on this planet? Why do you make me hate myself? And I know we don't really hate the artist always, but we just hate how they're so good. It's like, oh my god, I'm never gonna be that great, or how do people do that? And I don't know where I'm going with this anymore. And I just want you guys to know, from a non-professional standpoint, I'm I guess, mediocre artist. I'm still wanting to pursue art in the future. I still live by this, I guess you could say, philosophy that sketchbooks don't have to be perfect. When I was young and my sister was like my role model of art, because she drew these beautiful illustrations, and she was only like 16 at the time. I'm like, wow. And I was like 5, and I'm like, you're so good at what you do. And then she'd just look at it and look at me, and she'd be like, it's okay. And I just wanted to strangle her. Like, I'm like, no, sis, these are beautiful. What are you talking about? Stop downgrading yourself. And like I get so mad at her. Like, I actually, she let me draw in her sketchbooks, and we draw together, and it was a really fun time, and she inspired me to draw more. And like, looking back on it now, it's like, wow. Well, first of all, it felt so long ago, and second of all, I'm like, I'm never gonna be as great at her. I'm never gonna be as talented. But realizing now that your art, especially because she's like 12 years older than me, looking back at my art from then and now, I realized that she was a different standpoint with her art. She especially had lived longer than me, and sometimes age have to deal with it. It depends. Well, not always, but she had been drawing since she was very young, and since I was very young, I didn't understand why I suck so bad. And it's like she had a lot more years experience than I had, and at a young age, I couldn't understand that. And that's another thing we have problems with people have been practicing for years, or have been really sometimes not even years, sometimes it's like a year or two, and they've been pushing themselves, and they have already this beautiful sketchbook. And I feel like we're constantly comparing ourselves to artists. And in a way, it's good, because we can see, oh, hey, I don't use these colors, or hey, I should do this thing. But we're also like, oh my god, this is friggin' gorgeous. Like, why do I even art? What's the point anymore? Just flip sketchbooks off desks. Like, I'm done. Like, well, my point here, oh my gosh, I'm rambling, I'm sorry, is Your sketchbooks are whatever you want them to be. Do your own thing. They don't all have to look the same. Your sketchbook is your personal art journey, and it shouldn't be perfect, because no practice is perfect. You're gonna make mistakes. It's not supposed to be perfect. Now, there are artists out there like, I think her name is Love Teacup Kisses or something like that. She saves, I think, a special sketchbook just for her finished drawings. And I think there's Holly Brown. She also has sketchbooks that she uses just to sell her, like, more illustrated parts. I think that's right. And those are artists who are making a living, and of course they're going to sell sketchbooks full of full finished drawings. I mean, that's kind of like their life. It's kind of like their income. But there's also like people like Jellybee. She, I think a few months ago, or I think maybe a year ago, she did a Kickstarter for her sketchbook to be printed out, and not all her sketches was this like beautiful masterpiece. There was still like some sketchiness, there's some still character development, and there were still all these other elements of her sketchbook that wasn't like qualified it to be perfect. And honestly, I feel like sketchbooks like that that are messy and are imperfect are so much more interesting to look at. Honestly, when I see sketchbooks full of beautiful illustration drawings, yes, it's nice to look at, and yes, I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but I'm saying it's too much eye candy for me all at once. Like, do you guys understand what I mean? I feel like I'm not getting that shit. It's like, I look at it, I'm like, oh, this is pretty, oh, this is great, but like, it overwhelms me at a certain point. When I look at sketchbooks, I kind of like to see how the artist behind the scenes develops their art style or develops their characters, and that to me is so much more interesting than seeing the finished illustrations themselves. Not to say I don't love their illustrations, like, they're full illustrations, don't get me wrong. But like seeing the background and where all these ideas came from is so much more interesting. And I feel like that was the problem with me with the sketchbook. I promised I was going to do this, but I kept wanting to make my sketches look beautiful, and it started to stress me out, and I got so frustrated, and all these other motions, I'm like, why is this sucking? And I just started scribbling all over it, and I'm like, why isn't this the way I want it to be? And that's the one thing I have. Also, I go way too fast when I'm drawing. I'm like, scribble, scribble, scribble. Because I see all these illustrators and YouTubers who are like drawing really fast and these beautiful sketches. And I feel like if I do the same, I'll magically have that ability. But I'm realizing that's not true, Megan. What are you doing with your life? And also the problem with this sketchbook is I don't mind bounded, like the wire bound sketchbooks. I actually love those, but when it's on the top, it bothers me a lot. Like, I feel like I had to you see how I'm like moving my sketchbook up and down, left and right? It's because I kept drawing in different positions, because I can only draw like up and down or like sideways for so long. Like, I like my sketchbook as a book form, where, you know, like more of a squarish size more than this giant long rectangle. So yeah, that's one of the other problems. Oh my, I was going somewhere else with this. Oh, also, when you're feeling down about these beautiful sketchbooks or quote unquote perfect sketchbooks, look at art if they do have their old sketchbooks full of the anime beginning drawings, and not even that, maybe the more weird looking beginner drawings you see a lot. I like to look at those because I like to know where they came from, and I like to see what they approved on and all these other things. So that's another thing to keep you going and not have your sketchbook looking perfect and beautiful. Also, in my last sketchbook, I tried a lot of different new materials or things I usually don't sketch with, and it just didn't make my sketchbook look good, but it helped me like realize, hey, there's so many new other materials that I don't use, and it's like, hey, I should probably use this stuff because I have it. Like, also, your sketchbooks don't have to be this aesthetically pleasing thing. Like, I see so many people that are trying to, like, to draw just, like, with this one red pen, and it's like, okay, that's cool. I mean, if you're gonna sell it or something, like, I guess. But if you're like, guys, there's a whole art stores dedicated to so many different types of materials. Get out there and explore. And also, if you don't have enough money for like these expensive types of materials, use what you have. Like honestly, when I started out, I used composition books. Yeah, that's right. I drew on lined paper. Lined paper. And it was lit at that point in time. Like I was drawing every day, and it had so much fun. And that's also another thing. Sketchbooks, I know everyone tells you to draw every day, and you should create that habit. But honestly, if you're having a stressful day, keep pushing on, and if it's like making you mentally angry or upset, like take a break. Like there's no shame in taking a break every once in a while. Like, I think that's another thing about my sketchbooks. I kept drawing and drawing. That's why you saw so many scribbles and stuff, because I got so frustrated, and I just started doing a whole bunch of lines, and it's just, so that's another thing to keep in mind, or other things to do. And also, this sketchbook right here, I didn't finish this, and there's no shame in not finishing a sketchbook. Like, finishing a sketchbook or not does not make you a better artist if you do or if you don't. Like, your art journey and how you use your sketchbook is how you use your sketchbook. Like, there's no shame in that. If you can't finish a sketchbook, I mean, it's a good thing to try and finish a sketchbook, but if you're having difficulty finishing a sketchbook, sometimes it's good to just have a fresh new start. I mean, I'm all for not wasting trees, but, like, you guys know what I mean? I mean, like, don't waste, if you have, like, 50 pages of a 100 sketchbook, I mean, like, don't, like, just throw it away. I mean, you can use those, like, papers or something for something else, or just make a brand new sketchbook out of those old papers, because that's what I did with my yellow one. I took the old pages of my big red sketchbook, and I just made it into a travel sketchbook for when I went on my trip. So yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. Also, I'm, like, running out of time. Don't stop drawing. Draw every day. Do not be discouraged by these quote-unquote perfect sketchbooks. They're not supposed to be perfect. You are your own artist. This is your own art journey. You're working at your own pace. Be encouraged, not discouraged. Learn. Do not live and learn. Do not suffer and hate. Like, live by those rules. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope this wasn't too boring. I hope you get my point I'm trying to make. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye!